Hi, I'm back, I think.
Geek.
On today's episode of Live and Be Great, guys, I left, and I left for a very, very long time, almost a year on this YouTube app. Okay, and I believe this might be my second or third attempt on this app. And I just want to be honest, like, first things first, of course, I moved from California to North Carolina. Big difference. Actually, right when I decided to come back to YouTube. Um, and I was just getting overwhelmed. And at the time, it was just too much, right? To get on here and have my content and deal with what I was dealing with. Because not only did I had to move, okay, my mindset changed, my spiritual awareness changed, friends changed. Like, it was a whole clearing of what I didn't need anymore and what I did need happening at the same time. And I also decided to also get rid of some of my toxic traits when it comes to the stereotypical, um, I wouldn't even say stereotypical. I would say this is a way of life for Black women, like, to multitask. My theory is, personally, I do feel like if you are a Black person, but for sure a Black woman that has had to wear different hats, has had to code switch, has had to perform different roles in your families and in your friendships, there are many aspects of you. And my theory is we probably do, just like I feel like all Black people that are aware about racism and the everyday struggles we have to deal with on top of being Black has depression. I believe that I wouldn't, if we were all tested, if we all had to collectively be tested as Black women, we probably all have ADHD, hands down. Okay. And that's from being forced to multitask and to always have things together, also while trying to survive and run your own emotions, right? And I definitely picked up on that and been aware of that since I became a therapist, okay, and going to therapy and really acknowledging and being aware of all the things that I've been carrying, okay. So when it comes to being on social media, and you technically, because I'm an entrepreneur, you gotta use it, even though it can be so very overwhelming. And me as a therapist, especially, I know what type of uh, negative effects it can have on your mental state when you already have to perform in life and you trying to keep up with everything that's going on. It could be very, very overwhelming. And that's what it was for me. And I had to be honest. So, listening to one of my friends at the time, she was just like, well, just focus on one thing. And other friends said the same thing, like, start taking things off of your plate, because this is a big transition from California to North Carolina with my husband and starting a new life together. So I did. I did. And I don't know if it's right to apologize, but because I'm giving you the honesty of it, I needed to take a break, but I do apologize for, maybe I would say, the inconsistency And for those of you who joined early on and probably was like, okay, where'd the content go? Right? My bad, y'all. But I had to really heed my advice and work on breaking these toxic cycles and understanding that I don't have to have it all at once. And if I need to take a break and focus on something, I need to go ahead and do that. And that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. And of course, during that time, now I would say the structure of the channel might be a tad bit different because now I have more information. Because, like I said, there was also a growth process, a letting go process, an acknowledgement and awareness that I got with this move. So I'm trying to think, like, what is the best route to give those of you who subscribe to me? So I, like I said, multitasker, bred that way, right? As a Black woman. So I have a podcast, I got TikTok, and I have this YouTube channel that's been on the back burner. So everything you can find me on Live and Be Great. And if you can't, if you don't see me in one space, you may see me in another. And if you see that break, okay, know that she is taking a break and she's dealing with herself, right? She's heeding her own advice that she would give to her clients. Okay, when it's time to take a break, take a break. And I do want to do better with acknowledging that, right? And being more consistent with my honesty because I truly believe as a healer, as a therapist, and when it comes to giving guidance, like honesty is the best policy. And oftentimes your story and the truth about that is the antidote. Okay. As my clients understand, I'm very transparent, I'm open, and um, I do the work, right? I do the work that I ask my clients to do. And it would be so wrong of me to not really take that seriously. So I do. And you'll watch me do it when it comes to being here on this channel. Man, if you guys actually want to get more information on where I've been, I did go ahead and jump on my past. I did go ahead and jump on my podcast, and the full story is there. Okay. And an even fuller story is on my Patreon. Oops, I have one of those too. It might be kind of early to start a Patreon, but these platforms, especially YouTube, okay, you kind of have to be a tad bit censored. So the full story is on there. But I just wanted to come back. If I was going to come back, I don't know how many attempts. Hopefully, this is the attempt that I can actually be a bit more consistent on, right? When it comes to YouTube and having things the way that I want them to be, wanting to make sure that I'm in the right mental state because there was a time when I did have a show on MTV's Bid Chat. It's now called Meet and Greet. And it was a few years ago, and I was like their top viewed person on their content creator. I was a top viewed content creator that wasn't a celebrity, but I was very consistent with that show while I was in grad school. But there came a time where I felt like I was forcing myself to get up there and give something that I did not have in me. Like it was towards the end, I was going through stuff at home. I was going through stuff in my career with my clients at school. It was too much. So I promised myself if I was to return back to making content, I would never do that again. Okay. If I ain't got it, I ain't getting on here. I'm not doing that. I can't do that fake stuff no more. Like it's not who I am, and it doesn't help anybody if you're not honest about who you are and what you're going through if you're in this type of profession, this healing profession. Okay? So, yeah, that's that's where I've been. If you guys want to, like I said, if you want more details, go to my podcast. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcast, Google Play, I believe, Anchor, which is the main place that you can find it. But all those different podcast forums, you can find the podcast, and it's probably the first episode of the second season that I talked about it. Yes, first episode of the second season. And if you want a deeper dive into the things that I talk about that is unfiltered, please make sure you head over there to Patreon. Okay, I'm going to keep that as updated as I possibly can while I'm growing my platforms. I'm also over there on TikTok. So if there is a long break, you probably will catch me over there. And I do want to bring the short clip videos over here to YouTube because YouTube has YouTube Shorts. But I also want to give more information and talk more about the things that I post. Right? So you get the little snippet on TikTok, but you'll get more of an explanation of where I stand on a particular topic that I want to talk about. And as you guys may have seen on this channel, one of the big topics, of course, is going to be mental health in the Black community and corporal punishment. Completely against it. Okay. I did have a conference on there, and I only posted part one. Something happened with part two. Sorry about that, but I am going to continue to have the conversation, have guests, talk with me about the same stance when it comes to corporal punishment, especially when it comes to our Black kids and anything else. I do still want to do reactions and reviews. I just have to figure out how to balance that without getting overwhelmed. Like, I want this process to not burn me out, because what I do as a therapist is already a lot. It's a lot that goes into it, and I want to make sure that I take care of myself. But for those who don't have access to this information, I want to continue to educate and really do my part as far as healing the community. Okay? So I think that's it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm coming back. I'm probably going to film a few more videos today so you guys have content. I want to talk about these documentaries that I just seen. So if you see the same outfit, yes, that girl worked hard today because she was ready. I want to talk about what we are missing, okay, with the Janet documentary. And we need to talk about Cosby documentary. I want to get a little deeper and give you all my therapeutic reaction as to how I look at things and how it relates to trauma in our communities. So please tune in for that. And I'll see you all on the next video. Okay? Bye.
This channel will produce content that is both podcast and on-screen style. So if you're interested and you enjoyed today's show, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you soon.